Greetings and hello, audience, listeners, captives, whatever you tend to be. Welcome to a 25 North Mutiny with your host, Eek, the Goblin, and the others that I've shanghaied into joining me.
Help. Please.
Hello?
No.
Get us out of here.
No. You will do a mutiny and you will like it.
Hold on. Let me at least finish eating these chicken tenders before I get out of here.
No!
What did
Be
you
gone
know?
with thou!
He's taking the rations. We gotta get him.
That's right. All the rum rations belong to Eek, along with your chicken tendies. Okay. So, as you can guess by our talking here, we are discussing various things that we find interesting in life, the universe, and everything. Today, we are landing on homebrewing items in campaigns, and I thought that we would talk with one of our resident game masters, if you will. I am talking mostly about the person with the brumbliest of tummies, Jackson himself. Jackson, would you mind running us through, some of your homebrew ideas, any shenanigans you've gotten up to, etc.?
Yeah, so on Friday nights, I run with a group of friends a Pathfinder game that is set in the world of RuneScape, because I'm a very huge RuneScape fan. I tend to, whenever I homebrew, I like to have some sort of base world to build off of, especially if I'm very knowledgeable about the lore of that world, because it helps me, a lot of the big questions that will take a lot of time for me to answer have already been answered and are easily referenced through wikis and things like that. So I've done this old school RuneScape campaign. I've also done a Legend of Zelda themed campaign way back in the past. But I have been having a lot of fun with converting monsters and enemies that are found in RuneScape and having to find some way to fit them into Pathfinder. One of the most recent occurrences of this would be a dagger that I had given to the party as a reward for completing a quest. To kind of give a brief overview of that quest, for those who have played old school RuneScape, it was loosely based off of the Priest in Peril quest. In this quest here, the king had approached the party, or at least had taken advantage of a chance opportunity where the party came to meet with the king about a separate matter, and he asked them a favor to go check on a temple that is out to the east called the Paterdomus Temple. It is set on the River Salve, which acts as the natural border between the country or the kingdom of Mithilin, which is where this king is from, and the vampiric lands of Mauritania, which is a dark, evil land that is extremely violent, extremely bloodthirsty, and should stay on that side of the river at all costs. The river itself is actually enchanted to prevent those vampires from being able to cross over. So he hadn't heard from the priest that was running that temple in a while and was starting to worry about the integrity of this barrier, making sure that everything was still up and running. The party came, found out that a group of cultists that worship the evil god Samarak had effectively sacked the temple and completely took it over, and had taken the head priest as captive. And they had effectively not outright broken the seal, but weakened the seal very significantly, so the River Salve was not acting as a very good barrier anymore. Thankfully, the party was able to rescue the priest, and they worked together to end up getting the river cleansed and allowing for the natural barrier to come back up, thereby protecting Mithilin from Mauritanian invasion. And as a token of thanks, the priest provided a dagger to the party called the Wolfsbane dagger. This was a really interesting item to figure out how to homebrew into Pathfinder, because in the game of RuneScape, it serves two purposes primarily. The first purpose is that it is a silvered weapon, so it is effective against vampires. The second is that if you attack a werewolf with the Wolfbane dagger, they cannot transform, and they cannot go into their beast form. They are stuck in their human form as long as you are hitting them with that dagger. So I wanted to try and bring some sort of like a silvered weapon, maybe with a couple of runes on it to make it a little bit more powerful, but also coming up with a homebrew effect to prevent lycanthropes or anything that could transform into being able to take that action. I forget what I completely settled on, but it was a really, really cool challenge to go through and figure out how to take this item that has a very specific purpose in a video game and translate that to tabletop.
Pause.
Sounds like pretty
Pause.
interesting.
I just saw Lunar drinking out of a K-pop Demon Hunter's jug.
Hi, yeah.
And show that jug, please. Look at that.
Look
That's
at that.
amazing.
You got called out, dude. You got called out, dude.
I'm just trying to take a sip of my fucking water, man.
No, I love it. I love it. That's amazing.
Ever.
Thank you. I got
All right.
it when
Continue.
we were traveling to the aquarium for our anniversary.
Oh, very
Oh.
nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Sorry. The nerd in me got called out, so they pulled out. So continue, Eek. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. Jackson, that sounds pretty awesome, actually. So, talking about completely original content and maybe shifting more towards like taking original content and maybe shifting it into like a well-known subject as well. Lunar, I think you had mentioned that you were talking about like a Pokemon like campaign that you'd been thinking about doing. That's a really well-known property. Like, how are you thinking about putting your own spin on that?
Well, so what is it? The big reason why I'm doing what I want to do for this is because with the hole that the Roaring Trainers kind of left, I myself really wanted to, play in that space again of trying to just have fun playing Pokemon with friends, but in my own kind of way. With what I'm doing, I actually am making a brand new region altogether. So, like, from the ground up, it would be a region called the Nexus region, which would be, like, in the middle of kind of the world, where it is literally the heart of the Earth, in the sense of, like, if you're going on a Pokemon journey and you need to travel between, let's say, from, like, Kanto to Alola, it can take some time, and if you need to, stop in between or just want to visit, the Nexus region would be, like, directly in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I want to do a Pokemon game because I'm a huge fan of the series, and I think that it would just be fun because I'm grabbing from like every source that I can with like certain characters. Like, I'm making a whole gym leader circuit as well too. I've got a bad guy team that I'm making as well, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I would rather keep it as, I don't want to show my full hand before I have even like started recording stuff for it yet. Yeah.
What are you using for the mechanics? Are you going to do that in like Monster of the Week or?
So what I'll be using is I will be using most likely D&D 5e, where I'm going to be coming up with trainer classes and Pokemon stat blocks. I already have a good chunk of those from when the Roaring Trainers did it, because they had their own roll sheet as well too. So I'm just gonna, because I've gotten permission from them, I'm just gonna grab their system, tweak it a little bit, and then go from there.
Well,
Nice.
that's really cool. That's really cool, actually. And yeah, like D&D 5e seems like it's a fairly flexible chassis to put that on too.
Plus, not to mention too, at the very least, I can take what I do enjoy about D&D 5e and just like add elements of Pathfinder potentially into it too. Just like make it its own system at this point. Just steal from everything and make it into something that is just, something that's like brand new.
Yeah.
Especially because there's like certain Pokemon moves where I could see it if it was like Pathfinder's ruling system, where you have like the 3 actions. Some Pokemon moves can take the full 3 actions, whereas others can take like an action.
Yeah,
So I think,
now
like,
that you mention
that
it,
system,
that's a good facsimile, yeah.
That really is. Yeah, and especially something that would be like low to medium impact would be like a 1 action, like a tail whip or something else like that. Like
Yeah,
that would
exactly.
Be, yeah.
A Swift Strike, or what's it called, just Swift?
Yeah, it's Swift.
Yeah, Swift.
Yeah.
Could be Explosion as a 3 action.
Yeah, exactly. You have to really commit to
Or
it.
what's the ray that dragons get?
Oh, Dragonite?
Dragon
Or
Ray
no,
Beam or something like that?
Yeah.
Or Hyper
it's
Beam,
Hyper
yeah.
Beam? Yeah. That one would be like a 3 action, I would feel like.
Mhm.
Because that would be
But-
using your turn just to even charge up the beam. And then
Yeah.
the next turn, it immediately just goes. You don't have to waste an action.
Could also go the opposite direction with Solar Beam. Have a 3 action charge up and then a 1 action release.
Because it would be a big damage move. Yeah, it's just
would
there's a
be.
lot to work with, especially when it comes to this stuff. I already plan, because this is me and how I do it. I already have, like, what is it? A Google slide, or not Google slide, Google, like, sheet, like the
Oh,
Excel
okay.
sheet thing they have. And I've already figured out stat blocks that way and how to make it work that way. So
Nice.
if people want to put in their own codes and stuff like that, it's no problem. The one thing I will also say too, because this is a brand new region, I do plan on having like a gimmick of adding in new Pokemon evolutions. Now, granted, some of these are going to be my bias because I
Yeah.
like a bunch of these little good duders, and I
Mhm.
want them to have evolutions. There's also just going to be straight up just new Pokemon that I make for the region. And everyone's going to have to be really cool with that real quickly.
Well, there you go. I mean,
I'm
it's
just
your
throwing-
world. You got to play in it.
Exactly.
I'm just throwing this out there. Butterfree is my favorite Pokemon. So
Butterfree is a cool as hell Pokemon. One of the Pokemon that I do want to give an evolution for, because I think it would be a really good Pokemon to get 3 evolutions, because I think it could benefit from it, would be Pumpkaboo. So it is one of my favorite Pokemon ever, and that's my bias coming in. But I think that if it had
I
an
love the name.
evolution, oh, it's
I love
so
the name.
cute. It is a grass ghost Pokemon that looks like
Oh,
a
cool.
little pumpkin. And here, I've got an image of it. That is its first form. That is Pumpkaboo.
Oh, that's
Like a cat
adorable.
jack
Look at
panther.
that.
Yeah, it's a cat jack-o'-lantern. It's super, super cute. And then its second evolution is called Gourgeist, and it's also just one of my favorite Pokemon ever.
Mhm.
But I have an idea for its final evolution. Maybe the name, I'm still workshopping that part. I was going to call it Spooko Lantern,
Hmm.
because I think that's really cute.
That's a good one.
And it might actually get a new typing, because this just might be a new evolution the right side besides Gourgeist for it. It might become Ghost Fire.
Oh, okay.
Are you doing like a Headless Horseman type of inspiration for that last one?
Yeah, very like I said, I've got to figure out how I want it to be, but I do want it to like lean like on a witchier side,
Yeah.
and maybe like a fire witch kind of vibe.
Oh,
So
awesome.
that this kind of playing off of this conversation, Jackson, what made you want to stick so rigidly to the Pathfinder 2nd Edition rule set instead of blending in elements?
Personal preference. I like Pathfinder way more. I like it much better, especially on the GM side of thing, because like, you know, you're like, oh, in 5e, you're like, I want to give my party a bag of holding, and you look it up in the Dungeon Master guys, and the only thing it tells you is that it's an uncommon item, and then the description thereafter. What exactly does uncommon mean? What gold range is that? And it's like 50 to 150 gold. I'm like, so there's 100 gold difference where it's up to me and my discretion to put a price on this item that I think will be critical for the party to go for. And I don't know when they're supposed to get this item because there's no level to it. So like, do I give it to them at level 1? Do I wait till level 5? And Pathfinder is like, oh, here you go. It's this level item. It costs this much gold. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
I could work with that. So
yeah,
makes sense.
the rarity tag system is really cool. I think it's an interesting way to categorize items that, you know, shouldn't be available in every single shop, you know? I do like that. That's a good point.
Yeah, it really helps out in a lot of ways with that transition in terms of just rarity and what things would go where. Jason, kicking it over to you, my friend. You've been talking about some interesting ideas for a campaign yourself, kind of blending together something that's maybe set more it's a little departure from Pathfinder in some ways, or at least the world.
Yeah, so... Okay, I'm just trying to figure out how much I want to reveal.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me first say this here. For the listeners and for those attendants on this Mutiny episode. This is something I'm working on as a Patreon special adventure that will be released to a certain tier of patrons.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to reveal too much to you three because you three, I'm hoping, are going to be some of my players.
I'm in. I don't even need to know anything. I'm in.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah.
there you go.
There
you go, Jackson. You wanted to make that reference earlier. So I am a big fan of urban fantasy. I know Lunar is too.
I don't even need to hear anything else. I'm so in, my man. That's all you need to say.
I'm a big fan of urban fantasy and particularly the neo-noir spin on urban fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that, when I say urban fantasy, for me, I mean like contemporary, like real, today's world. So like the Dresden Files is a perfect example.
Yeah.
It happens today, but it has fantasy elements. There's werewolves and ghosts and wizards and knight or paladins are in there. And, that is what I really, really like. I like the real world blended in with my high fantasy elements with elves and ghosts and orcs and goblins and what have you. Yeah. There's not really a whole lot in the Paizo universe. You have Golarion and you have the Pact Worlds, which is Starfinder, which is their version of Star Wars, essentially. It's in the far future. I guess Star Wars was a long time ago, but you know what I mean. It's in the future. There isn't that middle range. And there's certain adventure paths in Pathfinder that establish a canon that Earth does exist. It is just a multiversal version of Golarion. There is an alternate universe where Earth exists and Golarion exists in a different one. I mean, the solar system's the same with just different names for planets. Also, one of the planets is a egg that holds a Cthulhu monster.
Oh, nice.
But they're effectively the same, and I was like, okay, well, this is a perfect way for me to fix that or to be able to do my own spin is that there is a third multiverse version of Earth Golarion that is going to be my world, where the technology level is similar to what we have today in our everyday lives. The internet, cell phones, vehicles, the modern vehicles, what have you. But I also am a big fan of Eberron. And so how does technology work in my world? It's magic powered. Instead of oil reserves, they're tapping into ley lines. And they're using magic that they're draining from ley lines as effectively their version of oil in internal combustion engines. Instead of silicon-based networks and servers that are powering the internet, you have the internet, but it's being powered by magical crystals. And it's communication between those crystals is effectively the internet. I have a basis of a story. Let me actually bring it up here and I'll give you the elevator pitch on the story. Okay. Where is it? Okay. In a rain-slicked city where old magic runs deep, beneath the magic optic fiber grid, a killer is hunting corporate royalty, and they're choosing victims nobody mourns. A misfit crew of private operators, the PCs, is hired to keep the last name on that list alive long enough to figure out who's doing the killing and why the city's magical underground seems to be helping them do it. So
I like that. That sounds fun as hell, honestly.
So I'm going to be using the Pathfinder / Starfinder 2nd edition rule set, so like that we will have more. There's a Starfinder has a larger rule set for firearms.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a whole sub rule set on sniping and like ultra long range weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So Lunar's getting a gun for another game. I see how it is. Actually. Thank you.
And yeah, so that's kind of the pitch. That's what I'm working on right now. It's for me, I was trying to come up with, I had this idea for this kind of adventure for a while, and there's not a particular region on Golarion proper that kind of has that feel, that setting style. There's there's a lot. There's like sci-fi tech on awry, like He-Man. The He-Man is basically Numeria.
Yeah.
You have their version of Ravenloft. They have that, which is Ustalav. They have their version of Conan the Barbarian, which is the land of the Lenorm kings and the Mammoth realms. But there's not an area where technology has progressed in a way. I think on Golarion proper, there's only steampunk, which is an Alkenstar.
Yeah.
That's about as far as they get. And Starfinder setting is way too far off sci-fi into the future for me. So, yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. And I'm planning on, I have a group that's going to play test the adventure with me as I'm getting through the different scenarios. There are 3 acts. And then once I got that all polished, I plan to run you all through it as a Patreon special episode.
Heck yeah.
That'd be so much fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Do you all have any questions?
No, I don't need a question. Already I'm down.
Can I be a hacker?
Yes, you know my jobs. Jackson knows what I do for a living. For if you all don't know, I'm a cybersecurity expert. I do cybersecurity. I have done it for the last 15 years. Yeah, so there is going to be a cryptomancy, which is kind of the placeholder term. That might actually be the name. This cryptomancy, which is the art of hacking the magic net. So,
okay, that's awesome. I guess the only question I would have would be like, is this going to be somewhat similar to the Dresden Files, to where people are just trying to blend in and they're not trying to be distinct, or is it going to be all the other like goblins, gnomes, everything else like that are just well known, and it's just like
it's like Shadowrun, where they're just out in the open.
Oh, okay. All right. That's awesome, actually.
Jackson, your face, you lit up.
I had an idea for a character that I might use with this. Hi, my name's Bob Hickenbottom.
Oh my God.
There he is.
My used car
there's a story
salesman
there.
Conspiracy theorist that might fit this setting.
That would. Yeah, I mean the operator group probably needs their conspiracy theorist.
Probably.
Listen, don't trust birds. They magically communicate the information that they see to the high government.
It's all connected. Here, if you just let me get out my bullet point presentation.
Not me out here thinking of like Archive 81 almost, and I'm like, someone needs to be like the writer, or like, oh my God, the Magnus Archives. Like I would really like to play somebody kind of like that.
So some of my inspiration is, like I mentioned, the Dresden Files is up there. Also, the movie Seven is a big inspiration.
That's a really good,
especially like the rain-soaked city. There's a killer on the loose. You need to figure out who's doing what, why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very David Fincher, very Dresden Files. Magnus Archives is on there too. In particular, there's have you listened to the Lovecraft Investigations, Lunar?
I am actually super bad. I haven't listened to it. I need to.
Okay.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a group of private investigators who are investigating supernatural stuff. So that's also another inspiration.
Almost kind of like how the vibe you were giving to me was like kind of Welcome to Night Vale-ish.
Kind of.
Yeah. Or at least it's like for everybody else that's in the know, it's like, well, you know, the big cloud's coming. Everyone better watch out.
Yes, that in that sense, yes. Maybe if this goes well, I'll do another setting out in the middle of a desert town.
Oh my gosh, that would
oh my god.
Hell yeah.
That would be amazing, actually. Oh,
a desert town setting where it's basically the Seven Samurai or the Magnificent Seven.
Oh my god.
Supernatural enemies coming into the town, and you all have a certain. Yeah.
That would be so good. I would say, like, just from listening to you all talk about your experiences of running stuff in a more formalized system, my only experiences come with telling stories in Dread, which is a game played, if nobody else listening to this knows, it is a game played with a tower that is legally distinct from a Jenga tower. and you just make pulls. You just make pulls from this tower at key points. And then as you go, the tower gets ricketier and ricketier, and you just continue to go. And when you make a pull and the tower falls over, that character is removed from the game.
Yes.
Just gone.
The tower is both your hit point pool and a level of stress and sanity that your characters are going through.
Yep.
So, because every decision you make, the GM determines whether you pull 1, 2, or 3 blocks, depending on how hard it is to perform that particular action.
Yeah, like for example, I think I had one setting where I ran it through. I ran it through with a couple of youth that I was working with. It was an underwater setting, and their submersible had essentially crashed at the bottom of this trench, and they were trying to work their way back up. And part of the thing was like, okay, well, you can totally jump across this dark, inky black void that you have in front of you to the other side. You can totally do that. You're underwater. I'm sure you can generate enough momentum to do that. That'll be 3 pulls from the tower. And it's just like, oh, whoa. 3 pulls from this tower? That seems bad. So, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That sounds interesting. I don't know, Jason, like going back to your setting too, that would work really well with like the Lovecraftian horror type vibe too, of it just being like, okay, it's like people know about these things that know about these things, but there's always that outside element that it just is waiting in some ways too.
Yeah. So I guess I hadn't thought about this, but another version of it would be Onward. The Pixar movie Onward.
That one's really cute.
It's a fantasy setting, and like but it's also modern in that there's like phones and TVs and internal combustion engines and whatnot. But magic exists. Minotaurs exist. What are they? They're trolls? Are they trolls in Onward?
They are trolls in Onward, and I think that it's like magic is known, but it is extremely rare, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah, because the history was that somebody came in and showed them modern science, and it's a lot easier to master that when you can flip a light switch on and off versus casting a light spell.
Yeah, then like taking the years to learn spells out of a dark tome in the middle of like some kind of mountain dungeon.
But yeah, so in the sense that these fantasy creatures and fantasy ancestries just exist is kind of what I'm going for. But yeah.
Okay.
I want to hold on before we end. I want to hear more about Legend of Zelda.
Oh, the Zelda game.
Oh yeah, the Zelda game. I was
Legend of
Zelda.
This is a very long time ago. I was a very green DM back at the time. I think it was like my 3rd game I had ever run. It had a 7-player party, so I
wow,
way
okay,
more true. But it was cool because in my very grand scope of thinking with this, to give more context of what the game was actually about, it was It took place in the same map as Ocarina of Time, so same layout, Kokiri Forest, Death Mountain, Kakariko Village, Zora's Domain, all those places were there, with some further extensions. Like I had Ikana Canyon go into Gerudo Desert a little bit, and just a few other additions, an expanded world of Ocarina of Time. And it was on the Fallen Hero timeline, where the idea of the story is that Link went off to face up against Ganon. He lost. And so now Ganon has control, but Zelda and the Six Sages kind of pulled a last-ditch effort to seal Ganon away, but at the cost of the Master Sword, which split it into several shards. And so fast forward 100 years in the future, to Kokiri from the Kokiri Forest decided, hey, we want to leave the Kokiri Forest to go out on an adventure. And as they left, they ended up coming into contact with a lot of other people in the party. It started off as like a 3-person game and then ballooned to 7 as more and more people got interested. But I had the idea of having the 6 sages and the 7th sage be represented by the party, where each person would get their own individual element of like a fire, forest, shadow, with the light being, or Zelda's 7th sage power being like the one that is reserved for character that was at the time working for Ganon and then had a redemption arc partway through. I also kind of tried to like really beef up the difficulty in this world too, and this was very shortly after the heels of Breath of the Wild, where that game was very well known at the time for its difficulty and how hostile the world of Hyrule was. So I wanted to try and capture that, and all the fights were very, very difficult as a direct result. It was also kind of an interesting learning time for me, where I probably made some mistakes in that. I made some calls with how I handled certain characters that I probably would not make today. One of the more notable ones that comes to mind is that a person in the party had played a Rito, and they weren't super into their character. They wanted to respec. They wanted to go into a different person. And for some reason, at the time, I said that they had to die in order for that to happen. And so he agreed with it, and we ended up introducing a villain called the Iron Knuckle that targeted this character and just full-on wiped him out, while the rest of the party could not really do a whole lot to him, because I used a Death Knight stat block against level 3 characters.
It was fucking scary.
But nowadays, looking back at that, I probably should have not immediately resorted to death as the option to end that off. I think that that was something where an opportunity to retire or like some emergency for this character that pulled them away from the party, something that wasn't so absolute and extreme. But, you know, it's part of the process of learning this game and learning how to play with other people is taking those kinds of things into account. And I'm very happy that Legend of Zelda was a setting that I chose to do a lot of that learning in, because I was never uncomfortable with my ability to tell the story of Zelda. It was just my own calls as a GM and my own rulings as we went about the campaign.
I'm going to pencil that as another topic for a future mutiny.
Yeah.
GMLs. So like big flubs that we've made in the past, because I got a lot.
That was same. Big
so
same.
I think that's, and I think it's important to acknowledge those, and because they're all growing opportunities. They're all opportunities for us to reflect and be like, oh, well, could have done that differently, should have done that differently. And we learn from it and move forward.
It also was, to the topic of the conversation of the mutiny, it was my first time homebrewing Ancestries in 5e. So like,
nice.
I made a custom Goron, I made a custom Gerudo, Kokiri, Rito, like all the races you find in Hyrule. I fully customized them. I even gave like sub races and very specific abilities for each class, each race. Like I had Gorons have a roll mechanic, whereas like if they move 15 feet in one direction, they can choose to roll and do a bunch of damage to what they hit.
Very cool.
That's cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, any other thoughts that anybody else has, or I guess I could let you all go at this point. Let you go eat and everything else like that. I guess I'll cut the ropes and let you free.
Oh my God!
Distracted him for long enough. Run!
Yeah. There they go.
You'll never take me alive!
All right. Well, thanks, Eek.
Thank you,
Yep.
Eek.
Thank you, Ike.
Thank you, listeners.
Yeah.
Bye.
May your party never end.
May your party never
Party
end.
never end.
Bye.